Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. The Great Russian Bluff is upon us. You see, over the past little bit, the United States has decided to send some nuclear warheads forward to be based in the United Kingdom. If what I read is correct, they'll be based out of the London area, which is kind of like saying the New York area. It's a big meandering mess, but the same token, that's going to be the rough area where they're deployed. Pretty normal, and there have been warheads there pretty much from World War II to 2014. Then they were pulled back, and now they're being put back almost exactly where they were. Probably the same shelves. If we're lucky, the same ones can go on the same shelves. But that's just a little fun bingo card. The Russians, however, have threatened to respond. The good news is they haven't threatened if you put them there, we'll nuke it. They're not saying that because they're sane. But they are saying if you move missiles forward, we'll move our missiles forward. I have to really, really question Russian strategic thinking when making this bluff. Let's be honest. Russia has a whole lot of warheads. And these are big suckers too. These are like 1 to 2 megaton scale. Not a laughing matter. The problem is, well, first of all, the global winds. In the 60s, the Russians spent a lot of money doing weather reconnaissance. And this is real weather reconnaissance. This is not, oops, we flew over your territory while we were, taking photographs of topological features. And no, we can't tell you anything except our name, rank, and serial number. No, this was legit. Russia was actually studying the air currents. It was not a purely scientific endeavor. They wanted to figure out where the fallout was going to wind up. And guess what? They started nuking Western Europe. They found out the fallout was going to wind up all over their territory. So even if they achieved complete surprise and a bolt from the blue scenario, they'd still wind up poisoning most of their citizens. That's why one of the first things Russia has continually the USSR and Russia have continually led with at conferences and peace accords and stuff is we'll sign a no first use of nuclear weapons policy on this treaty right here, right now. And the US has never backed that up. Russia, it's to their advantage. The United States, not to their advantage. Secondly, even medium-range ballistic missiles and air-launched cruise missiles have the range from Russian airspace to pretty much hit everything in Western Europe. So where are they going to move them forward to? Belarus? There's only so far that's not a NATO-controlled country. Finland's off the table. There was a time where they might have considered it, but Finland has always been kind of a ping-pong ball between the two sides. So where could Russia possibly move these things forward to? The other thing is, when you move your weapons closer to your enemy, it makes it easier for your enemy to strike. If you put things just inside the border, I've only got to defeat one layer of air defenses to take out your big guns, so to speak. And then with stealth and with terrain following and all these wonderful technologies we have today, I've taken the teeth out of your bite. That's not a situation you want to be in. So while the pundits are out there saying, oh my God, it's back to the Cold War and Russia's threatening to do this, think about it logically. It does not make sense for them. To make the threat? Yeah, I got no problem with that. Strategically, threats like this are part of the game. And as a chess move, it's a darn good move. as a realistic move, it doesn't make sense. Right now, they're having their best success by having MiG 35s go over the border into Ukraine, while Su 35s going over the border into Ukraine, while MiG 31s sit back with their super high, long range, ultrasonic missiles. And that's the way they can catch fighters napping. Somebody goes up thinking they're going to get a nice, juicy Su 35, and they get a hypersonic missile for their troubles. And these aircraft firing them have not left Russian airspace. They're home in time for tea, as the expression goes. There's long-range ballistic missiles, which I understand. They're already targeted to whatever places in the Western world offend them, just like ours are targeted on whatever offends us in Russian airspace. That's the way the game works. But realistically, look at the logic. As a threat, it makes sense. As an actual practicable doctrine, makes zero sense. If I'm trying to protect a major asset, leaving it on your front lawn is a bad idea. That's where your defenses go, so that you can keep your major asset. And I still vote against Vladimir Putin being the one to press the button. Yeah, if you're listening to this after the apocalypse, you may make fun of me in the comments. But ultimately, I don't see him being the one starting World War III. He'll threaten it, and people are scared of him right now because he invaded Ukraine without warning, and they're thinking, oh, he might do the same. Yeah, but he invaded Georgia, nobody said squat. He's had interventions in Belarus. He had troops in Syria. He was going all over the place and being hailed as quite the conquering hero. This is a different game, though. Now, he's got the stones to play it. But he's also going to know when to back down. Putin doesn't want to rule over a radioactive wasteland. The canary-headed orange-skinned guy, I can't guarantee that for you. Nothing against him, just in his personality, he's self-centered enough. I would deeply worry about him in charge of any nuclear arsenal. They're both not good guys. Let's get that straight. This is not an endorsement on either of them, but just a threat assessment. We're going to start getting into campaign season here. I'm going to try to stay away from political topics so that you have an alternative here on the Silverlight Show. Because we know we're going to start getting bombarded with this stuff 24/7 to a ridiculous extent. I mean, unless somebody does something truly crazy, like, knock down the Empire State Building, and hopefully that does not happen. But unless something like that happens, it's going to be politicians all the time, every day. And it's going to monopolize everything. Until then, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell icon down below. And we hope you have a fantastic day.